Hello, this is John Locke, and today's video was inspired by a question that I saw in a forum when it was a person was asking, how long does it take to recover from my website being hacked to recover my SEO? And it really got me thinking. I've seen this question or similar questions come up a few times. And over the past couple of years, I've seen sites that used to have some ranking power and some credibility, and today they're hacked and have no ranking power whatsoever. So I thought I'd talk about this for a minute because it is an interesting subject. So when you go to build a website, there's lots of different ways that you can build it. You can get a hosted solution, something like GoDaddy Builder or Wix or Weebly. But generally speaking, these things don't give you a lot of flexibility, and they're not very good for SEO overall. In a competitive vertical, in a competitive market, they're not the best choice for SEO. And if you're looking for anything that has some sort of flexibility and is going to be easier to work with for SEO, that's generally when you're using a content management system or a CMS. So these are web applications that power websites. And some examples of CMSs would be WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, Concrete 5, there's Staymatic, there's many different types of CMSs out there. But the downside to having a CMS is that you have to make sure that you update the software. There's software updates that happen to these. Most of these are what we call open source projects, where people from all over the world are working to upgrade and maintain the underlying software. So much as when you have a computer at home, and occasionally it will tell you the next time you start your computer, it's going to do a Windows update, or it's going to do a Mac OS update. It's the same thing with your website. Whenever you're doing a self-hosted website, the underlying software is not set it and forget it. You don't just build the website and then never look at it again. These things are software, and there's updates that have to happen. And it's not just on that application layer, but it's also on the server layer. I've had a lot of questions about this lately with many of my clients. They are hosted on various managed WordPress hosts, and those hosts are updating the version of PHP from PHP 5.6 or 7.0 to 7.2 or 7.3. So this is part of the software that runs the server, that runs the application, that runs your website. All these things are things that need to be maintained. So either you can do it yourself and have somebody routinely run updates and make sure everything's working correctly, because all these things work together. Or you can have somebody on staff, or somebody outside of your staff, like a consultant, do these things for you. But the important thing is if you don't run software updates on your website from time to time and make sure that things are running smooth and things are up to date, what can happen is you can get hacked. And any website that's out there can be hacked. But the number one and the number two cause of hacks are either weak passwords, like meaning you have a password like password 123 or something ridiculous like that, or the software updates aren't being applied. And what happens are, there's hackers out there in the world that seek out vulnerabilities with websites, and they hack into them. And so the question happens a lot, like people say, why would people want to hack my website? I'm not a bank. I'm not Facebook. I don't have people's data. Well, there's many different reasons that people could hack your website. People can hack your website for SEO reasons, and they can inject links to their website in there. Generally speaking, this can be bad because a lot of times it's links going to pharmaceutical types of things like Cialis, Viagra, testosterone, really sketchy stuff. Or they can do different things like hack it and just completely take over your site. But a lot of hacks that happen are not defacements, or really they're not recognizable, I should say. A lot of times it's more subtle. But there are other times where sites get hacked, and it may be something like I've seen this one a lot, like where it's all Japanese or Chinese writing, and generally those are links to bad types of sites. And that's one thing that people can do. Another thing that people do is they tap into your site to mine Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, or they turn your site and make it part of a botnet, where they have hundreds or even thousands of websites chained together, and they use all the processing power together to do attacks on other websites. And so it becomes just an ever-growing thing. But if your site has been hacked, the first thing that happens is in Google search results, Google will actually show, wherever your site comes up, it'll say, this site may be hacked. Those words will actually appear next to your Google search result. If Google believes that your site has been hacked, it'll say the words, this site may be hacked. And if you don't get it fixed, the next thing that happens is your site basically gets de-indexed, meaning your site is taken out of the search results altogether, because nobody wants to go to a hacked site, and Google doesn't want to send people to a hacked site where their computer can get infected, or they're going to something that is not the original intention of the site. So how long does it take to recover from a hack? It depends. It can take months. It can take up to a year. It depends, but generally speaking, if you nip it in the bud and you get your site fixed right away, generally speaking, your rankings will bounce back. But the longer you let your site be hacked, the longer that your site is got stuff like pharma spam, or it's got hacked content, or things like that, where it's subtle. Generally speaking, there's a lot of times people will do things to your site that's not going to draw your attention to it. They want you to not know that your site has been hacked. Most hacks are a lot more subtle than you realize. So word to the wise, be sure that you're updating the software on your website on a regular basis. Make sure that you're on a web host that does regular updates to their underlying server infrastructure. If you're on a website that's $5 a month for hosting, most of the time they're going to have outdated software. Their servers aren't going to be maintained because they can't pay people in the background like system admins to actually take care of the servers, and those are more likely to be hacked than on hosting where you're actually paying a reasonable amount. Same thing with your website software. No matter what CMS you're using, if it's Drupal, if it's WordPress, Joomla, no matter what it is, make sure that you're doing updates as they come out. If you don't, have time for that, hire somebody to do that for you. It's a really important thing, and it will preserve your SEO. The same thing as if you had a computer at home and you never ran updates, and then your computer got hacked. It's the same thing with your website. It's the exact same thing. Anytime that you have software, people will look for vulnerabilities, and then the software makers will patch up those vulnerabilities, and they will release updates. So make sure that you're taking care of business. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockedown Design and SEO, and we help manufacturing companies get more requests for quotes through organic search. And if you have an SEO question, we can answer it in a video for you. Leave it in the comments below. And we're publishing every day, so we'd love to see you subscribe. Until next time, peace.